Good morning. This is part of my testimony series. I call it Depression Bites. Have you ever been in a place so dark that it actually consumes every bit of light that comes your way? Every little bit of good is washed out by despair. How can you move when you're already up to your neck? People who don't understand the magnitude of depression will tell you to suck it up and drive on. But a sponge can only hold so much before the contents spill out. The stronger you are, the more you can hold back. And when the dam breaks, it usually spills out in blood red. Is it any wonder why you can't make it out on your own? Depression is real, and it steals life, not just from the people who ultimately take their own life, but from everyone that it touches. I was once in a place where death was calling to me like an old friend that you didn't want to disappoint, or that friend you just could never say no to. I was saved what I like to be called divine intervention. You call it what you will. On the day I was going to do myself in, my attempts were foiled by a series of unusual interruptions. It was an unexpected visitor, then a phone call, then a near stranger that just needed a moment of my time. Not just once, but over and over again. I could have ignored the interruptions, but I had it planned so perfectly. So I made a new plan. And again, my plan came unraveled like the spring in a cheap child's toy. Disheartened by my best laid plans, somehow I found a glimmer of hope in one of the phone calls that allowed me to hold on for just one more night. If my screams were not heard, I could always finish the job. So I held on. The next day my cries were heard, but I was not full ready to accept the help that was being offered. So a bandage was put on my bleeding heart, and I was sent back into the world where I'd wait for the dam to break once more. They sent me back into the world with all the king's horses and all the king's men to watch over me and to give me aid and support. That wasn't enough. The dam did break months later, and I can't tell you why I'm here to tell you my story. The pain was so overwhelming and I so weak. I just couldn't fight any longer. I wanted it to be over. I wanted the pain to stop. And I wanted to stop hurting the people who I still managed to care about. So how do you do it? How can people so desperate find a way out? You have to want to. You have to want to enough to do the work it takes to drag yourself out of hell. You need help. And you have to be willing to accept the help in whatever forms it comes in. For me, it was medication and 100 days of intense therapy. But for you, may be something else. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. Look to the professionals, get a second opinion, and maybe a third. Accept that what they tell you, and no matter how difficult it is to hear. Then work on the solution. You were too important to simply go away. Somebody needs you. If not now, somebody will eventually need to lean on you, and you will need to be strong enough to hold them. If you ever find yourself as low as I was, then you've got nowhere to go but up. Seek and ye shall find. I find mine at the Albuquerque VA. God hasn't forgotten you, and He loves you more than you can imagine. Thanks.